Oh, my bad. Yo, every time. Yo, every time, yo. That beat, it just gets something to you, man. Just I don't know what it is. All right. Welcome, bienvenue, good day, ni hao, jumbo, sup, yai, yai, yai,
You good?
mushy.
You good?
I think I've hit everything that I can think of. Guten Tag. I think I've hit I put a little too much on that. I probably, for anybody who speaks German, I apologize. That was a horrible pronunciation, and I know it was. All right, welcome once again to another rousing episode of, as I hit my JoJo pose, another rousing episode of the Fandom Initiative. It's a nice day. Got some kind of cool weather. A little chill, still good. Everybody start putting that lotion on. It's time. Prep work. Get that lotion in. Your ankles, your knees, your elbows. Get that webbing in there. All right, we have an exciting show. We have two incredible creators on that are part of Villainous, this new graphic novel that's coming out. But first, let's get these introductions in order. The man across from me virtually, kind of looking a little noirish in that kind of channeling some Batman, the Batman, I should say. No spoilers, haven't seen it yet. I will get to it eventually. This is the cinema CEO. He is the cinema god. He is the man who, well, he's an angel with the joysticks. Ooh, that's a nod. That's not right there. This is Michael Williams.
What's up, yo? Good to be back.
In the building. Well, virtually. In the building.
Virtually.
Right, yes, virtual.
Through the interwebs.
That's it. Through Battle Beast Internet. Myself, I'm the hungriest man in the room. You can take that however you want. If you listen to the last show, you know that there's a little entendre, the double entendre right there. I am Antonio Pomares, aka the Hungry Bleak, and I also host a series also called the Hungry Bleak Podcast. Yeah, it wasn't very inventive. I apologize, folks. That was as good as it was going to get. And this is the Fandom Initiative. Welcome to the fandom.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm good, sir.
All right.
I am good, my good sir.
All right. I'm not even going to ask you on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm not even going to bother asking you because I know you're going to break the scale again. I got my last scale from Costco. I'm not even going to ask you. I'm not even going to gauge it. But are you ready?
Yes, ready, brother. Ready.
All right. So we've got two incredible creators, two cats who just come together like the Wonder Twins in the form of a fantastic graphic novel that, I mean, just was fire on Kickstarter. It's still out there. Still need you to go and pledge in for it. And we're going to be talking about the Villainous graphic novel and the art. Which I've seen some of the art. Beautiful, love it. I want it in my hands right now. I want it in my tablet right now. Yes, so, folks, let's give a rousing virtual. I can't hear you clap, but I'm gonna see you clapping in my head, in my mind's eye. That third eye is not blind. This is Newton Lilavois and T.J. Sterling.
Yes, sir.
What's up? What's up, guys?
What up?
How are y'all doing today?
What's going on?
Doing good, man.
I saw you putting on that hoodie, Newton. I was like, yo, I like that. Like, I'm not into the color, but I love that color, man. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's got to match the hat, you know. That's Brooklyn style, you know.
Yes,
we color coordinate.
Look, in the words of John Witherspoon, you got to coordinate. You got to coordinate. Did you know your pop's got a mushroom belt on, man? Yeah, man, I know. We miss you, John. So, look. You guys have it's here, finally here. I've been waiting so much for this incredible graphic novel that you guys have put together for us. Villainous. I want you guys to give us an idea of what we're going to be into. What is the story based off of? First off, whoever wants to field the question first, you know, because we're all just about jumping in on this one because we're here to have fun.
Yeah, you go ahead, CJ.
Newton, go right ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Hot potato.
So you can tell that we're already in sync. Like, you know, we can feel each other out. You know?
True.
But anyway, so yeah, so Villainous is at the heart of it, it's a story about a man who wants to destroy the system, right? He's at a point where he thinks that the system just can't be fixed. You know, most people, they're in the mindset like, oh, you know, the system's broken, let's try to fix it, let's do this, let's do that to improve it. But he's at the mindset that the system's broken and it needs to be totally destroyed. And so that's where he's coming from. He's a villainous anti-hero, as TJ and I like to say. And you know, he's the powers that be is trying to stop him, but at the same time, the ordinary citizens, they've tapped into that anger that he has, and the main character Shatter, they've tapped into that anger, and they're kind of like influenced by his chaotic and just destructive nature. It's drawn a lot of people because they feel the anger, they feel the same thing, and so he's become dangerous to the government and even people who oppose the government. So he's become dangerous to two sides, and so he's battling. He's going to end up battling two sides, both what you would call the good and bad. You know, so at the heart of it, that's what it's about, and it takes place in a futuristic sci-fi world in the city of Demetropolis.
You know, that's dope. Now, TJ, how did y'all come up with this? So, like, how did y'all come together? I mean, obviously, like, you guys know each other already, but how did you come up with this story and decide to come together for it?
It's a great question, man. Again, just like you said, me and Newton have known each other for quite some time. We've done lots of conventions together, hung out plenty of times, and already had like a bond and a synergy just as in our mutual respect as comic book creators and you know, people who just like to tell great stories, man. I think, you know, there's such a huge fan base for, you know, Okemos Joystick Angels and then Crescent City Monsters over here. And it's like, man, why don't we do something fun that we both could really wrap our minds around, or introduce something different that no one had seen before. And this conversation took place right around the time of the height of the Black Lives Matter movement. You know, the George Floyd incident had just happened. So there was like a national, you know, really a destructive and kind of angry national conscience going on for people of color and you know, other people who were not, that found this, you know, incident to be as atrocious as it was. So there was just lots of anger, lots of hatred, and there was lots of like questions about where we were going to go from here as a people and what we were going to do. And me and Newton were talking about it and like, yo, what if there was one character that challenged the system, and instead of challenging it to change and pushing it to change, he wanted to completely eradicate the system, destroy and rebuild from the ground up. And so we started thinking a villain would be the only type of character that could do something like this. Like, he would have to not be on the good side or the bad side. Well, he couldn't be on the good side at all. He'd have to be on the bad side. So we started talking about this character who was a broken man, and completely broken man. You know, the word Shatter comes to our minds, like a character named Shatter sounds dope. You know what I'm saying? He's a broken man. And even when you look at his character design, when I was drawing him, I wanted him to have like a half broken mask, very much like Phantom of the Opera. Like, you don't know what his other side of his face looks like, but you still see the anger and the humanity on the right side. And huge Predator fan, so we added some of those dreads. And yeah, man, it just was. But like, we also love sci-fi. Newton's like, I want to do a sci-fi book, and I'm like, hell yeah, let's do that shit. But let's make it like, you know, epic Fifth Element style, like sci-fi, like really high-end Neo Tokyo type shit, like on some Akira type stuff. So all these ideas kind of started swirling in the air, and we're like, okay, let's start this Google Doc, let's idea dump everything, and then let's just start writing. And that's kind of how the process began.
I'm loving. I love the fact that you said Phantom of the Opera, because I would not have thought about that, honestly. I definitely dig that Phantom of the Opera, like the half mask, and still being able to see that, as you just said, his humanity and his anger still there on that side. I kind of want to up my my pledge now. Damn. All right. All right. Cool.
Yeah, do that, man. Go for the 300, man.
Just wait. The FCC is watching, man. It's not all legal. So what we're I'm just joking, kind of. So now the Kickstarter's been going on for what's it been, 2 weeks or so? Has it?
I think a week and a half. It started February 22nd.
Mhm.
So there was a theme to that, right? 2/22 of 22,
Yes.
and it's for 22 days. So hats off to TJ. He's the one who came up with the idea. I thought that was a dope idea. I think as we're talking, we've outsold Kanye because his album debuted on the same day. But I think we've won him more money than his, right, TJ? I think, right? I think
Yes, absolutely.
He's like, yeah.
TJ's like, should I jump in on this one? I don't know. I don't know if I want to co-sign on that.
He was reluctant. He was like, yeah. He's looking to see if anybody comes out a window or something. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah,
Kanye could be walking around.
For some reason, I think you would hear his shoes. I'm not sure, but I think you would hear like squeaking of his shoes or something like that. I'm just seeing the designs. I don't know. My God. Seen him with some rain boots on lately. I don't know. Michael, you want to jump in?
Yeah. Let me think. Following up on that question before, where how you two came together. I guess the question that I have kind of rattling around my mind is, when two creatives such as yourselves do come together, was there any kind of feeling on the Villainous project where either one of you had to kind of sacrifice your I don't know, your creative juices to kind of make this partnership work, or no?
No, well, I could only speak on my behalf. I'm not sure if TJ feels the same thing. I mean, by now he might hate my guts.
Yeah, he's terrible. Get him
out here, but no, you know what it is? It's like, I think both of us took the approach that this is gonna be a book where each of us are gonna speak our minds honestly as to what we feel works and what doesn't. And if anybody knows TJ, he's a very straightforward guy. He'll tell you when he doesn't like anything. And creatively, I make sure that I want to make sure that what I do comes out right. And so anything that, luckily so far, like anything that we've felt strongly about, like anything I felt strongly about, TJ's like, all right, whatever, if you feel that way. And then if TJ feels strongly about something that, that in the direction that we're headed, I'm like, all right, sure. So we haven't really butt heads. And I think it's because one of the reasons is because, we trust each other creatively. I think when you read the book, you won't be like, oh, yeah, this is totally TJ's story, or this is totally Newton's story. You're going to see bits of both of us, right?
Right.
And that's the purpose of a collaboration, right? It makes no sense to collaborate with somebody and it's all you, right? You might as well just do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So that was a good part. It was good too, because it was, for me, it was a learning opportunity, because for the most part, there's one other side project, but for the most part, I usually write by myself. And writing with somebody with TJ, with TJ's creativity, was good because he had ideas that were like in line with like the way what I think is a good idea. It wasn't like he was throwing out some ideas and I was like, nah, bro, for the 10th time, that's not gonna work.
The 10th time.
Yeah, he and I were, pretty much like this. Not that we have the same exact ideas, but it's like, I come up with an idea, then TJ's like, boom, that's a great idea. What if we do this? I'm like, oh, I didn't think about that. And then it kind of grows organically. And then, sometimes, and then sometimes we both could take a look back and be like, yo, maybe we're heading in the wrong direction. And then we try to figure stuff out. So I think, it was a mutual respect. And both of us, there's no ego. You know what I mean? I think we put that aside for a really good story. We want the story to be a great story. So that's our main function. So it's not like, oh, you know, it's just gonna be all about my ideas. I think we both are like fans of our own story, and we want to make sure that the story that we present to you is on point. You know, because TJ and I, you know, we're you know, when it comes to story building and creating stories that are unique or different, you know, we're on the same boat with that. We want to make sure that, you know, when we come out with something, it's dope. You know, it's as dope as possible.
Good.
Agreed. Yeah, I was just going to quickly echo those same sentiments that it's because when you have two people writing in the room and there's, you know, all these different facets of the story, it's really like just, you know, taking a leap of faith and trusting that other person. Like, yo, I know my man's got it. And when we do come to an idea that it's like, okay, that's a little extreme, because I think Newton will tell you, I have some extreme ideas for Shadow. Like, I want this cat to really
the
be
gerbil?
out
the
there. Yeah, the gerbil. Yeah. Cut, rewind the tape, blank that out.
I mean, it's out there now. I mean, I'm just like, Michael does not want to be drawn into that. I'm just I don't know. You know, we all got to.
So, because it's like when you think about villains, man, and like these wild characters that have kind of like blurred the lines of what like proper etiquette and behavior looks like. We really wanted to take this, like, what's a picture of a man who's completely unhinged, who has no fear, no, I mean, because human beings, we walk around even with micro fears, like, oh, I don't want to necessarily talk too loud or chew too loud because I don't want to offend the next person in the room or my girl or whatever. But just imagine a man does whatever he wants, when he wants, says what he wants, does what he wants. And it's like, you know what? My way is the best way. And he's so completely stuck in that zone. It's like really writing for a character like we've never done before. So there's a lot of experimentation, but, you know, again, starting from a place of like, yo, I know whatever he comes up with and what I come up with is going to work. So it's just really just trusting the process.
Now, is this is this going to be published under Ray Comics or Dream Fury, or is it going to be like a blending of the two? Ray Fury. I don't know if that's even a thing. Is that in Tekken? Is that in Tekken?
Yeah, it's going to be just a collaboration so far. Who knows? Maybe this might be the beginnings of a Black Image company. I'm not sure, but
Look,
just putting that.
Look, man.
This is how it starts.
Out loud.
This is how it starts.
You know, sometimes you say something out loud and it starts to germinate, man. It just, you know, and that's a word I learned yesterday, germinate. And you just, you know, and it just gets out there. And next thing you know, there's a documentary about 20 years ago. These creators, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and they'll be taking snippets from this video right here.
Not before, not when I was telling them to cut, though. Don't put that in. Whoever in 20 years' time, don't put that part in. And don't put this part in either. That I'm telling you not to. It's a wrap. It's a whole. Never mind. Just put it in. Doesn't matter.
Oh, man.
So, one of my favorite things about Kickstarters are the tiers. I love seeing what everyone comes up with for different tiers and the add-ons. I love how the game has evolved. And it's been since COVID, really, because everybody's been, you know, doing more Kickstarters and changing everything. Can you let us know about some of the tiers that are involved in some of the cool things that you have in there for people who are looking to try something new and to get in there?
Yeah, I was going to quickly say that we really wanted to make this Kickstarter just about the books. I think both of us in the past have done really, you know, have really robust offerings with t-shirts and toys and posters and all kinds of stuff. And I know for me, like, and Newton's like, yeah, man, let's just focus on the books. I'm like, you know, it's a great idea. Let's make it about the books. So the beautiful thing about this Kickstarter compared to some of our other Kickstarters is that this is a collected edition of 3 comics in one. So it's 80 pages. You get a full story arc in one shot. And you know, the beautiful thing too about it is that the book is pretty much done. So by the time people are watching this video, and by the time the campaign ends, you know, you're going to be able to get your book shortly after, which is really, really cool. Tiers start out, I think the lowest tier is about $5, and that's for the digital issue for number one. If you go up to $15, you get the digital issue, collected edition of all three. We do have printed copies. We've got 4 different covers, actually. We've got a cover by Kanan White, who's absolutely incredible, you know, which is the one that we've been promoting for a while. We've got a cover from Giancarlo Bernal, the amazing Giancarlo Bernal, Ringo Award nominee who deserves to win every single time. I got that right, dude. And we've also we have an amazing wrapper. Well, that's the wraparound cover. So you get more art than you normally see from Gian on a cover, which is really, really dope. And then we've got a really incredible cover in Spider-Man #1, 1990s homage by Sean Damian Hill and Loris Ravina. Absolutely stellar. Which people went crazy for when we dropped that. It was just like, yo, can I get that? And it was really just an experiment. We weren't even trying. We were just kind of having fun because we just love comics so much. We wanted to do an homage. And then we do have a secret cover, which has not been revealed just yet, which is all from Anthony Piper. So 4 different cover variations for your graphic novel. You can get one. You can get a collected edition of a set. You can pick up old school copies from our previous issues of Joystick Angels, of Okinus, of Crescent City Monsters. So you can get in our entire catalog, and you can get, you know, our new book too. So we kind of want to give people as many options as possible. And then at the very, very top tier, we have these collector boxes, and Newton definitely could speak more about those.
Yeah, so there are like 3 levels of collector's box. They collect not just the Villainous volumes, right? They also collect books from TJ and us and I. So there's, you know, Okemos, there's Joystick Angel, and then, you know, there's Crescent City Monsters included. And also, I think it depends on which tier, which collector's box you get. There's also Dream Fury Comics Presents, which was something that I did in my previous Crescent City Monsters Kickstarter campaign, and people love that, so I decided to include that too. So the boxes themselves, not only do they hold the comic books, but they're also something that's just beautiful, right? They're going to be, you know, it's going to have some amazing artwork on the box. It's going to be something that you're going to want to put on your bookshelf along with the rest of your graphic novels. So it's going to be something special, something that, you know, it's not just a box you just throw away once you get it. You're going to want to keep your books in there, and this is just going to be beautiful.
Nice.
I love that. I love having something that's functional.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I mean, not that I don't love the things that we get, you know, enamel pins and stickers. Love stickers for some reason. I don't know why. 44 and I finally love stickers. I hated stickers as a kid. No, there's no rhyme or reason for that at all. There's none. But I love the fact that there's like that functionality of having a box, you know, because you see a lot of like long boxes that have, and some have, you know, whatever art, but most of them you just thrown in there. To have something that you can actually display as well as keeping your comics in, I like the double of that. Now, I do know that there was an add-on that I had to get, which was a t-shirt. I'm saying.
Of course.
Do I even need to speak on that? I mean, seriously. So, and I wasn't expecting the t-shirt, so I was just excited to get the book in general, because hearing you speak on it and seeing the art and the covers and seeing the talent that is behind this, not yourselves, but I mean, just everything's going into, and the story, I was like, yes, something different. And I wanted to feel that. Seeing the t-shirt, I said, okay, I love to read the book, and now I also get to wear it and show that off. I really enjoy that whole thing. What has been the most rewarding part of this whole project of the Villainous project for you? Start with TJ.
I was going to say that seeing people's reactions to the characters, you know, people getting excited about the collaboration. I think there's a lot of interest around other comic book creators, you know, collabing and, you know, fusing their energies into something new. And we just get a lot of comments about Shatter. I mean, a lot of people are just like, yo, I love his costume design. I love this, like, hard rock, like, Kiss, Gene Simmons, punk rock Lobo type outfit that he's got. And I love the cyberpunk world. I mean, like, just I think people have such a fondness for cyberpunk. So I think people are really excited about that. And it's just excited to see their reaction.
What about you, Newton?
And for me, I guess the best part is this might sound cheesy, but just working with TJ, just collaborating, working with TJ to create a really good story. I mean, that's the best part for me, working with somebody and being able to create a story that you're proud of. Whatever else happens, whether or not Villainous becomes like the most highly rated comic book, or this is where the buck stops, whatever happens, in the end, I'm really proud of the work that TJ and I did on Villainous. And the thing is too, I think our fans should definitely hop on now, because they're going to see that as the story progresses, we're going to even get better, because the first 3 books, it's really top notch, but as we start meshing things out and just really catching our flow, and you're going to see it's going to even get better. So make sure you do this on day one, because you're going to enjoy the ride.
Definitely. And as always, folks, in the episode description, the link for the Kickstarter is there. Click that link. Go check out what's going on with Villainous, because you're not going to be disappointed. You're going to see the incredible crew that's a part of this. You're going to see some of the art and the covers, and you're going to just want to dive all in. So please, like I said, click the link that's in the episode description right now. Y'all always know I'm trying to give you the information right off the bat while we're talking about it, because I want you to go and I want you to enjoy it. I want you to get on this, okay? Because it's awesome. And we have 2 incredible creators here who you'll not only get Villainous, but you'll also be able to go with their previous work. That'll get you more hyped for their next project, and it's just a wonderful, beautiful cycle of just keep going. You're happy with their beautiful work. They're happy producing the work, whether it's their solo projects or collaborations, going to get it in on that.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. Another question for you guys, actually. I mean, with Villainous, as you guys have already said, that you kind of take from, events that have already happened, like the George Floyd atrocity and things like that, but also sort of melding that with things in pop culture and fandom, like, the influence of Phantom of the Opera on the character and things like that. So, working on a project like this, do you guys, I mean, I know you guys are trying to make the best product that you can as far as the books and things like that, but are you guys also at the same time, while you're doing this, sort of projecting how it might play in other media, like streaming networks, if you got a deal like that or something like that? Or I guess what I'm asking is both of your mentalities on it sort of this, and I talk to Antonio about this all the time, where I'm like, just go for it. Like, even if people don't necessarily understand what you were trying to do initially, a lot of those people who didn't will understand it at some point in the future. So do you guys just kind of go for it? Like, you're thinking long term beyond just these books that you're doing?
Yeah. I mean,
I'll quickly just
go ahead, TJ.
I was just going to quickly say that, how do I answer this? It's weird, because there's this fine line of people who create comics for, to pitch to networks. I've never created from that standpoint. To me, like, it takes the purity out of making comic books. I do understand that it is a good business decision for a lot of people, or it's part of their business, and I ain't knocking them for it. It's just not how I do it. For me, I love creating content in comics that are a reflection of the world we're in. And what we're seeing with Villainous is really like a question. What if, you know, the defund the police thing actually happens? And, you know, 100 years in the future, when we are in this, like, you know, metropolitan, you know, crazy Demetropolis type of city where it's futuristic, but, you know, police is no longer a part of the state. The law enforcement becomes privatized by big corporations. And essentially there's the same oppression going on, but on different various levels. So we were literally thinking, like, we want to speak to this issue. We want to talk about this stuff because it's important to us. And we wanted to fuel a lot of those frustrations into this book, but also make it entertaining. So we never really had a conversation like, yo, this is going to be something that we can pitch to a streaming network and go to Netflix. And while all that stuff is there, we want to make something that's really like, you know, just something real. You know what I mean?
Oh, you guys want me to add something to that?
Yeah, if you like to. Yeah, if you like to. I know you were going to say something beforehand. Yeah.
I felt like TJ
covered pressure. I was like,
I thought TJ covered it, but everybody started looking at me like,
Newton?
Newton, yeah.
You don't have your homework today? Like what's going on, my guy? Like what's
Yeah, so like TJ said, you know, when we thought about this, it wasn't like we were like, oh, this will make a great movie. You know, we were like, no, this will make a great comic book. You know, that's our approach. And, you know, if it's made into a movie or animated show or whatever, you know, we ain't gonna be mad at that. But our first goal is always to make sure it's in the comic book format. And so we structured the story like, you know, for a comic book, right? We didn't structure it like, okay, you know, TV execs might be looking at this, so let's, you know, do this and do that. You know, it wasn't any of that. So when you play to the medium that you're working on, it just works better that way. Because what ends up happening is that, you know, your fan base grows and there's attention to it because you're perfecting it for that media. And then once that gets attention, then they'll translate it for you. You know, you don't need to try to make sure that the story is and to be honest, you know, any good story can be, you know, translated to any medium, right? You can go from the other way, right? You can go from movie to comic book, right?
Right.
And they'll just, you know, translate and fix the story to an appropriate story for the medium, right? So, you know, it could go back and forth either way. So, you know, the best thing is always, you know, make sure that you're going for the medium that you're writing in. And, you know, if and there's nothing wrong against people who maybe say, you know what, I want to make a movie, and but you know what, it's hard, so I'm gonna start with comic books because it seems like comic books are the things to do, and I'll start my idea with a comic book instead. That way I'll build an audience, and then maybe it could be translated to movie. So I don't think there's not anything necessarily wrong with that. It's just that if you do something like that, just make sure that you're true to the comic book medium. You know, stay true to the comic book medium. And what I mean by that is, so there's more to making comic books than just like the story itself too, because if you're really into comic books, like when you write the script, you'll also like kind of like basically do a layout. Like you'll consider layout. And for example, when we were writing it, TJ was like, yo, let's do a splash page here. And I was like, okay, yeah. You know, if you're not a comic book reader, you won't even consider a splash page, right? Or you won't even like, so like, for example, like let's say you wanted a panel where somebody was moving from I don't know, somebody was swimming in the ocean and they were going up, right? You somebody who's into comic books be like, oh, you know what we can do these vertical panels, and then the person is like going up this way, showing, you know, the progression, you know, and you'll write it into the script, you know. And if you're not into comic books, you may not necessarily even do that, you know. You might leave it up to the artist. Now, if you have a really good artist who's really good at layout, then they'll do something like that for you without you even asking them. But if sometimes, you know, if you're not familiar with the medium, and then you won't incorporate things like that. So the touches like that, you know, you'll miss out. So that's why I'm thinking, you know, that it's really important that, you know, like I said, there's nothing wrong with if you're trying to make your story into a movie, but you say, hey, you know what, I want to go into comic books. There's nothing wrong with that, but make sure you study the medium and all the advantages it has, and you know the nuances of it, and then employ that into your work. You know what I mean? And then make sure you do that to your best of your ability. If you do that, then you know I don't have a problem with it. But if it's just like some really straightforward, like you're just trying to do a translation from like a movie script to, you know, into a comic book, then you know that's kind of like you know, I don't think that's recommended.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be the easiest thing in the world anyway.
Yeah.
Trying to translate the two, but I love the fact that how you're saying, like, you know, because whatever you do, you want the base to be the strongest part, obviously. So if you're doing it from a comic, you want it to be the strongest thing that you can do. You want it to be, you know, you want it to just be solid.
Yeah.
In all respects, because that's what everything else is going to spring from. You know, so if it's good and somebody does come along, they're like, hey, you know what? I like this Shatter guy. Let's talk. And he's like, you know, this is what it is. And it's beautiful to have something so solid like that too, that you can spring from. And it may happen because we're getting a lot of you know, news about comics that we didn't think would be made into a movie or a series or what have you, that are in talks. So, I mean, you know, the doors have been wide open the last few years or so for Black indie creators. Let's be honest. At one time, nobody was trying to touch. And now they're seeing, obviously, the money, but there's also this incredible artistic love and passion, and the way that the medium is transforming by creators like yourselves. It's not just the cookie cutter things of what were there, of you have a Superman archetype superhero doing this, and the, you know, a Joker archetype villain doing this. You have these incredible stories of depth and passion and commitment and what you're putting into it, and the crowd is loving it, obviously, because the crowd is being a part of the Kickstarter and funding it. So the tide is definitely turning, and it's beautiful. I do have to say one thing real quick. We got a comment from GA Beathouse 99. I'm just gonna put it up, and I don't know what even to say about this. I'm typing with one hand right now. This stream is amazing. Thank you. I truly appreciate that. I don't know what that means, but yo, hey, you know, whatever it takes, man. whatever. Look, like Degrassi said, whatever it takes. Thank you. I don't know where to go with it. Look, that's the best comment I've had all year. That's the best compliment I've had all year. Are you serious? I'm gonna take it. Whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you. But make sure that the one hand that's free, you go click on the link and go to the Kickstarter.
Exactly.
If you really want it to be good, you're gonna get that Kickstarter, and at the same time, hit the button, wink, wink, at the same time, and it's really gonna pop off for you. I'm probably gonna get kicked off.
Yeah, see, I'm trying to avoid comments about what the other hand is doing. So
look,
it's hard, man.
As long as, yes, it is. As long as you take and hit that link for the Kickstarter, it's all love, baby. It's all love. Make sure you get that link, or if you cannot hit the button right now to get the link, share it. Share the link. Share this. This is off the rails. I'm gonna just share the link. Don't share unless you know consent. You have people go, hey, you know, whatever you're gonna do for you. Hey, it's the weekend, whatever. All right. So on that note, folks, please, like I said, the link is in the item, the episode description. Go and click on that link. Go to the Villainous Kickstarter and see what these incredible creators have got going on. Any final words, TJ or Newton, about the Kickstarter and for our fans?
Yeah, I just want to say. Oh.
Go ahead.
We're gonna do Newton first because TJ
went Usually it's seamless, like, you know, like it's like, yeah, but I don't know, maybe it's because Saturday, I'm not sure, but yeah, just make check out the page. You can go to villainous.com. It's spelled VILLAINUS. villainousbook.com. That'll take you straight to the Kickstarter page. We've got reward tiers that covers, from $5 to $300. So don't be afraid to support us. We've got everything that's within the decent price range or whatever you can afford. And make sure that you check it out. You won't be disappointed. It's a great story. It's a blend of Afropunk and cyberpunk. And if you're into sci-fi, you'll definitely enjoy the book. And the artwork is amazing. And like TJ said, we've got these amazing variant covers from amazing artists. So if you're a collector and you're really, especially if you're a collector of Black indie comic books, the artists that we have are well known. Sean Hill, Anthony Piper, Giancarlo Bernal, Kanan White. Top-notch artists, top-notch. We're not playing, so make sure you cop the books.
Definitely.
Yeah.
TJ.
I was just gonna say that if you guys are a fan of like Deadpool and The Fifth Element, you're gonna love this book, man. I mean, it's really something you've never seen in indie comics, especially Black indie comics yet. It blends all these really great worlds together, all these different types of characters. Shatter's the main character, is the quintessential anti-hero villain who you love to hate pretty much. You've got characters like Major Strom, which is the Black militant character who looks almost exactly like Wesley Snipes, you know what I'm saying? But he's like Shatter's arch nemesis. Yes, Simon Phoenix from Demolition Man. There's crazy action fight scenes, car chases, explosions. We've got lots of diverse characters in there. We've got a detective character named Kanisa Mystery, who is a cybernetically enhanced detective who is basically the city's top detective, but she came up from the slums and worked her way up to the top. So we have, every character in the story really got something interesting and something unique. And we're really going into depth here. I think what's really cool about what you guys are experiencing or what you're going to experience is, it's not like we wrote the pages simultaneously. Newton took one chunk of the story and I took another chunk of the story and rewrote it and then combined it. So you got two voices, multiple different types of characters. So it's really kind of a visual and a narrative treat to kind of, be in this world. It's going to pull you in. It's going to hold on to, and you're going to like, man, when's volume 2 coming out? And we just gave you volume 1. That's the same thing that you ask us about Okemos and Joystick Angels and Crescent City Monsters. You're going to be asking the same thing about Villainous. So please click the link in the bio, pledge, support, share it, tell your friends about it. We need as much people on this as possible because we want to hit some stretch goals. We really want to do some fun stuff and really, give you guys something amazing.
Outstanding. So yes, like they said, go in the episode description, hit the link, pledge, share, tell your family, tell your friends, tell anybody who will listen. What have you, because we need dope work out there, and this is one of the dopest works. All right. So real quick, we're going to do just a thought. This is Michael's week. This is Michael's week for visitation. Going back and forth. So, Michael, just a thought on former Netflix Marvel series coming to DC Plus. Excuse me, Disney Plus.
Yeah. Don't disrespect. Don't disrespect.
Wouldn't it be funny if you just saw it pop up on Disney? Like, wait, that doesn't make any sense.
My God,
what you got, brother?
Yeah, I mean, we got the announcement this week, the official announcement that it will definitely be airing on Disney Plus in the United States on March 16th. And I mean, I don't think it's necessarily surprised that these shows would be coming back in-house to Disney. I think the surprise is that it would be on Disney Plus, right? Because Disney Plus has kind of tried to walk this fine line of just, being all about family entertainment, right? And as we know with these Netflix shows, they deal with some topics, and there's some violence in some of those shows that definitely muddies up the perception of what Disney Plus has been or should be. So I honestly thought that they were going to wind up on, if anything, they were going to wind up on Hulu, but I think it's smarter to put it on Disney Plus because you're trying to keep everything Marvel together, right? So it makes all the sense in the world for it to be on there, but it also sets up all types of ramifications with this, right? Like, the first question it leads me to ask is how potentially violent is the Moon Knight show, right? Because none of us really know. Like, we've seen things that may portray it to be more violent than it normally would have been, but if Moon Knight is anything close to what we've gotten with the former Netflix Disney properties, Netflix Marvel properties, this is an interesting turn that Disney Plus is sort of willing to go towards, right? And I think the other thing that also comes with this is that there will be an update for parental controls along with these shows dropping on the 16th. So they're kind of covering themselves, right? Because they know that eventually there will be a backlash by somebody, because there always is when things like this happens, where a kid watches the show who shouldn't be watching it, and they'll say, oh, well, you know, they'll either ask for money back or they'll say that there were no, you know, parental control things allowed to lock these shows out. No, that's not what's happening. They're updating parental controls too, so that, you know, there won't be any excuse for you to flex your muscle on the account and keep those shows locked out. So I like what they're doing with this. And I also want to talk about some of the things that, you know, Charlie Cox has kind of come out and said in the last week, where he says that he's kind of willing to draw down on the violence if they resurrect the show, you know, a Daredevil show on Disney Plus. I don't think that they should. I think that they should keep the violence quotient exactly where it was while it was on Netflix, because it just brings in a whole different audience that Disney Plus probably wouldn't bring in at all by keeping it the way that it was. So call it what you will on the part of Disney and Marvel. I think it's a masterstroke by them putting those things on the service, for sure.
It's definitely going to make a precedent. Moon Knight, we know, is going to be different. I think this is a smart thing because the audience is growing. We had our first sex scene, not full out, obviously, nudity, sex scene in Eternals. So this shows that they know their audience is growing. They have to, even with the running joke has always been language in the Infinity saga. It was a running joke, but it's true how they have gotten more and more mature. They will still have their kid-friendly stuff, obviously, because they're going to hopefully have at one point the Young Avengers with their setting up. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun time. It's a great time. It's a golden time. It's a vibranium or nth metal, depending on whichever one you're a fan of.
Yes.
Age to be a nerd, a geek, of any type of fan of this genre, and it's beautiful. So thank you very much, Michael, for your thought. We have one last thing, a good word. I spoke about this last time. I'm going to say it again. Unfortunately, one of our near dear people in the Black community, one Maya Crown Williams, has been stricken with cancer. And we all know the times are hard, and they're even more hard when you are going through an illness, a disease as unforgiving as cancer. So again, in the episode description, I have a link to her GoFundMe page. If you are able to donate, please do. If you're not able to donate, then please share it. Share it on your social media. Share it on Twitter, Facebook, what have you, please. just very important. And there are a lot of things that you probably have seen her about. She's everywhere. I feel like she's everywhere. She said one time, even if you don't like me, you gonna know where I be at because my market. And she's not lying. She is just that person. She is. That's one of the greatest lines I think I've ever read in my life. It was just, I was like, she's got a point. She's got a point. So please, she's just such an influential person, and she created her own con, her own film festival, and so many other things that she's done. That's just a drop in the bucket. So please, if you are able to, share it. Go and check out the GoFundMe, and let's help one of our own. We always talk about being a community, and we got to represent what have you, and represent for her, please. Thank you. On that note, I'm gonna ask it. The hell, you know what? I'm feeling. Michael, go ahead and on a scale of 1 to 10, go ahead and weigh in on this show, brother. Go ahead.
We can't do scales anymore, brother. We got to do like.
I got one more scale. I got one more scale from Costco. I got one more scale,
and I'm gonna let you keep that Costco scale because we're not doing the Costco scale no more.
Well, I mean,
we got to do like box office numbers now.
Oh man.
We got to do opening weekend like.
All right.
250 million. That's what we got to do, bro.
I mean, I could put a little bit on it. I ain't got the whole thing. I could put a little bit on it. I mean, all right, brother. Yeah, what's your number? What we got?
We talking 250, 275. Easy, brother. Easy.
You talking MCU numbers?
Yeah, MCU numbers, brother. Of course. Are there any of the numbers that matter?
I'm not Bobby. I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight Bobby. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yes, once again, Michael has found a way to measure where now I'm going to be paying $250 million for every episode. Holy cow! I don't even know how that happened. On that note, folks, thank you so very much for another rousing episode of Fandom Initiative. We have had the incredible, stellar creators of Villainous. We have had TJ Sterling. We have Newton Lilavois. I want to put a little bit on that one, Newton. I want to put a little bit on that one, brother. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Newton Lilavois. You know what I'm saying? Le bon ton roulette, man. Come on, let's go. Like I said, in the episode description, go and check out their Kickstarter for Villainous. It's going to be amazing. Go and pledge to that, and also go and to Maya Crown Williams GoFundMe. Like I said, if you don't have the funds, share, do whatever we can. We have beautiful people in the community that are out here, creators, and we have people who are doing things, and everyone needs a little something. So let's spread it, please. We always talk about being a community, then let's show it. All right. Yeah. On that note, brother, you have any final words? I almost said last rites for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know why I was about to come out. That was about to be a very dark show. Very dark show, brother. I don't know what happened there. I went a little bit of enthusiasm, a little too many enthusiasm.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'd just like to say, thanks for having us on. Remember, Kickstarter's at villainous.com, VILLAIN. US.com.
Yes, you also have the IG page too, the Instagram page as well, which again, go check out what's going on there. Give it a like, give it a follow, give it a share,
give it a hug.
If you only using that one hand to type, give it a hug, give it a dap, a pound, give it give some 5 on the black hand side, whatever you want to do. Just when was the last time you heard that? Jeez, what the hell? Time travel. Any final words, Michael?
Just want to thank these brothers for being on our show, as always. You guys make our job easy when you come on the show. So we appreciate it. We really do.
Diabolical.
And we appreciate y'all, and quickly say that this is absolutely one of my favorite podcasts I've ever been on. Me and Newton were talking about that. We look forward to doing this. We look forward to hanging out and chatting and laughing with you guys. It's always exciting. It's fun. And everybody who's watching this, if you haven't subscribed to the Hungry Bleak or Cinema CEO, do that. Tell people about these brothers because they are the real deal. You know what I mean? We ask you to support us, but support them with a follow. Watch what they're doing because they're about big business. You know what I'm saying? And they're going places. So thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you.
TJ, I'll venue. I'll
Thank
Venmo you
you,
the
thank
money.
you.
I just, that offshore account. Got you, baby. I got you. Watch it. No, but in all sincerity, thank you so very much. We always appreciate those kind words. As for myself, look, like I said, weather's getting nice. Act right. Don't be a damn fool. Put that lotion on. In all sincerity, put lotion on because I know your skin cracked and it hurts. Put that lotion on. Get it in the webbing, your ankles, everything. Seriously, bruh. The elbows are such like when you got to drop it on somebody, you don't want them seeing ash. You want them to see freshly moisturized elbow meats. Elbow meats. What? Look,
elbow meats.
Look, meat because I'm hungry. I'm gonna be real with you. For real. But yeah, look, as always, do the best you can with what you got because in the end, that's all that you get. And remember, eat something tasty. So we are out, y'all. Thank you very much. We're going to go out with the shoulder shake because y'all know it takes a couple of minutes for the thing to go because I'm using like somebody else's bootleg. This is like 5 laptops in one. I've had to Frankenstein this sucker. So,